What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Share this out. Another Roster Bubble video for you guys today. We're going to talk about Bryce Ford-Wheaton, the West Virginia alumni. But how do I do these videos? Well, I talk about a player that's on the roster bubble, may or may not get cut. Talk about their background. I talk about their competition. I talk about how they could win a spot on the roster and how they could lose a spot on the roster, and a projection at the end. So today we're going to talk about somebody who got a lot of hype going into last year's training camp in Bryce Ford-Wheaton. He's still only 24, which, you know, believe it or not, is young. He was born in 2000, so you could still say that's young. 6'4", 220. Undrafted free agent out of West Virginia in 2023, and he automatically clinged to the New York Giants roster. And there was a lot of hype because of what he did at West Virginia, this, that, and the third. Played 5 seasons. It was really 4. And I'm going to be honest, when I saw him in training camp and, you know, he got the spotlight, I don't think he played particularly well. I don't think that he was able to take it. I think there were a few drops, if I remember correctly, and he wasn't really shining like the Giant fans would hype up. So I was like, I don't know that this guy is going to make the roster. And then, unfortunately, he tears his ACL against the Jets. Bing, bong, boom. He's pretty much done for the rest of the 2023 season. So because of the IR thing, he is kept on the team, and the New York Giants are giving him another shot. Just some stats for you from West Virginia. I'll go over the last 2 years at West Virginia. 2022, 62 receptions, 675 yards, and 7 touchdowns. 2021 at West Virginia, 42 catches, 575 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He never was used on end arounds or stuff like that. That's not the player he is. So, competition. Miles Boykin, Chase Cota, Ayir Asante, John Giles, Allen Robinson, Dennis Houston, and Gunnar Olszewski. And then you could probably put these guys into the category we're going to talk about next, which is Dennis Houston, Olszewski, Giles, Asante, Cota, and Boykin. Everyone pretty much except Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson has his own separate category, which basically links itself into special teams guys. There's a ton of guys on the roster bubble that we'll be talking about, and we've already talked about them too, that pretty much have to make the roster through special teams. Miles Boykin is one of them. I would like to think Dennis Houston's another. Chase Cota, maybe. Isaiah McKenzie, Gunnar Olszewski, Matt Adams, the linebacker. There's a lot of guys on this roster that have to carve their way through special teams. And I think Bryce Ford-Wheaton, this can really go into how he can win. First of all, health has to be there. He has to be participating in these drills. He has to be all ready for training camp. That second thing coming into special teams, I really don't think he's going to make this roster as a receiver. I really don't, because if you look at the top of the depth chart, it's Slayton, it's Hyatt, it's Neighbors, it's Robinson. Then if you want to factor into Allen Robinson, who I already predicted to make the roster, that's 5 receivers right there. Do they keep 6? Do they keep 7? I mean, let's just say they keep Isaiah Hodgins or one of the Isaiahs or Gunnar, whoever. Are you really keeping a 7th receiver on the roster for the basis of, oh, they're a good receiver? No, you're probably keeping them for the sake of special teams. And that's what Bryce Ford-Wheaton does. He plays special teams. And that's going to be his main path to making the roster. Ability as a possession receiver, he's going to have to show it a little bit more. I think he's probably going to play with the 3s or the 4s based on last year, the DeVito squad, the Nathan Rourke squad, maybe the 2s if there's injuries. But as far as that goes, I mean, again, he didn't impress me in camp last year. Just a lot of noise and not a lot of production. And I don't know. I just don't buy into him being receiver. I think it's going to be a special teams thing, like a Matt Slater type. So how can he lose? Injuries, drops, sign through camp, and lack of special teams presence. So debate who you want, how you want. I didn't think that Bryce Ford-Wheaton was going to make the roster last year. Probably the practice squad because of the way everybody was talking about him and this, that, and the third, whatever. I think the biggest detriment that could go towards his roster spot would be injury. If he's still not recovered from that ACL, if he's still with that rehab group throughout training camp, and if he's silent through camp on special teams. If he's not participating in gunner drills, if he's not doing anything on the kick returns, because we do have this new kick return rule, whether it's blocking or trying to get to the returner, I think those two things would be the biggest detriments to his roster spot this training camp. And, drops as a receiver play into that because you have to play some sort of offense. And if he's silent through camp on offense, again, I am basically looking at him as a special teamer. I don't really care too much about drops. I don't care too much about being silent. Just play special teams really well. Be a Matt Adams or any of these other guys that have gotten on teams because of their play on specials. And the New York Giants need it because it's a new special team scheme. Everybody is a clean slate. So, again, how can he win? Special teams possession, receiver ability, and health. How can he lose? Injuries, drops, silent through camp, and lack of special teams presence. I have Bryce Ford-Wheaton not making the roster. I don't think that it's going to be him that makes it because of specials, whether that's returning or whether that's just blocking or doing other stuff on special teams. He could stay on the practice squad. He does have to show some development, though, in either field, whether it's special teams or the receiving room, or else it's a failed project. I don't want to say a failed project because it's like sounding, Joe Shane had a failed project and Bryce Ford-Wheaton. He's undrafted free agent, so you're taking a chance anyway. But essentially, failed development. I don't know if making the roster. Hit that like button for me, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or video drops. Appreciate you coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool.